every time it's been set up differently. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Thank you. So do I need to hide the side preventer over here, the boxes? I can? Testing 1, 2, 3. So Deanna. Yeah. You have options. I gave you the slide advancer, but when the flower committee starts going, you're gonna. Yeah. No, he doesn't want. They don't want to advance. Either you can advance it, or I can advance it in the back. Well, they said like 5. So they said, Judy said their talk is not more than 4 minutes. Oh, what? Yeah, that's what she said. So gotta give people. Yeah, so give a count and then just advance. Okay. All right. And then microphone wise, how's that, guys? That's good? It's good.
Okay, I'm gonna push this back because I want to put the podium list on here too.
Oh.
So they know who to call up next.
So Deanna, I'm gonna turn the podium mic off. Green is on.
Okay.
All right. Testing, testing. Where did they get the puck from? Did you guys bring that up?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for those who are watching on HHTV. We appreciate your interest in what we do. Today, I was going to talk to you about artificial intelligence and have a little bit of fun with it, but that will have to wait until May. There's a much more important issue that concerns all of us that I would like to fill you in on, and that is the progress report for the CEO Search Committee. The CEO Search Committee consists of the following members: Anne Brand and trustees Mike Meekum, Alex Tibbetts, Bob George, Gary Southerton, George Counts, and me. Guiding us in every imaginable way has been the Deffitt Group. Many of you met Dan Deffitt and Elizabeth Feltner when they were here several months ago to learn about Horizon House and our culture and what would suit us as a new CEO. They have been truly invaluable partners in this effort. The search committee has been meeting with Dan and Elizabeth every other Friday since the end of January, and they presented us with resume packets from 12 individuals. And the committee picked 7 of them to interview on Zoom. And out of the 7, we narrowed the field down to 3 for in-person on-site interviews, which took place last week. Some of you may have seen the activity, may already know about that. In addition to the in-person interviews conducted by the search committee, the following groups also had an opportunity to speak with the candidates: the Horizon House Executive Leadership, 5 staff directors, 5 resident council members, 3 residents, and trustees not serving on the search committee. After the interviews, the search committee met with all of these groups to receive their input. The Deffitt Group will be debriefing the 3 candidates and will forward the debrief interviews to us this week, and we'll be meeting with the Deffitt Group on Friday to plan the next steps. I also have a report from my work on the Philanthropy Committee of the board. The Philanthropy Committee approved all but one of the requests for enrichment grants for the spring grant period. The final request is pending more information. Remember, if either you individually or your committee have an idea for some enrichment items for the community that will benefit the community, talk to Charlene or Ruth Ann of the Philanthropy Department about your ideas and the process. Let's use the funds allotted to us. Grants are made twice a year, and up to $25,000 is available each half year. The next grants will be awarded in the fall. Next, I would like to announce the nominating committee for resident council members for the year starting January 2024. I know this sounds early, but it's a big job. The committee will ask for nominations from residents, and people can also self-nominate. Nominees are interviewed by the committee, and 5 candidates will be chosen by the committee and submitted at the October meeting to the residents, who will also be allowed to nominate from the floor if they wish, with the consent of the nominee who they're nominating. Madge Hislop is the chair of the committee, and the other members are Nancy McReynolds, Alice Melanie, Bill Anderson, and Susan Barish. After the nominees are approved by the council, my plan is to have all the incoming members be mentored by existing members on the council. On another topic, we have a generous offer of technical assistance from Alex Tibbetts, the Board of Directors Vice President. She's starting a tech cafe for residents. She will be here with her son, who's a student at the Northwest School, on Saturday, May 20th, between 2 and 4 p.m. I probably should put the agenda up for you to see. Okay. To help people with their tech issues. You'll be able to bring your portable devices, phones, laptops, iPads, for help with setup, using your devices, and problem solving. The details, whether there will be signups or drop-ins or both still need to be ironed out. So more to come. If you have a question about your devices and it can wait until May 20th, put that on your calendar. I hope many of you will take advantage of this, because if there is interest, we can make it a regular thing and get students from the Northwest, other students from the Northwest School involved. And last but not least, the Dining Services Committee member, a member will be at the table in the Fireside Lounge after this meeting to discuss any questions or comments you may have about dining services. If anyone has any questions of me, I'm going to take them now, because as you can see from the agenda, at the end of the day, we're going to have Christy Seymour here with a presentation, and I'm sure people will have questions from her, so I don't want to compete with Christy. So if you have any questions about anything I just said, let me know. Raise your hands. Okay, nobody? So next, Erika. Hey, Erika.
Hello. Go where, Carol? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, good people. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Deanna. It's good to be here. So I wanted to talk to you about some wellness resources. The first thing I want to talk about is a question that came up about transportation when people are going to a doctor's visit for an outpatient procedure, how people can actually access a companion visit or an escort that may be feasible, especially with having somebody escort them and come back to Horizon House for an outpatient visit when you're not tip-top and you are required to bring somebody with you. Does anybody have any problems facilitating an escort back to the house? Nobody? Wow. Wow, not a single hand went up. Okay, so I want to tell you in a quick fashion that if you did have issues with this was a problem during quarantine times because a lot of weight rooms were closed. They would not allow escorts to be inside of waiting rooms, and they had to stay outside, which was a real pain if you were an escort and you didn't have a vehicle to wait out in or a parking lot, and you were a friend who was just going to go and hang out, waiting for your friend to come out of their procedure. At this point in time, we don't have those restrictions right now. So I'm going off of right now, we don't have any restrictions going into waiting rooms, waiting for our picking up somebody after a procedure, a colonoscopy, getting your cataracts, surgery, having an MRI, any of those things, you should be having no problem having an escort accompany you, being in the waiting room, taking your very tired body back home, okay? So if you don't have a power of attorney, a family member who can accompany you, you don't want to go that route. That should be a first order person who should go with you to take you back, of course. You should also consider a very trusted friend in the building as a follow-up to bring you back and escort you. A third option would be Can Do can accompany you and bring you back. They don't typically have car service. They will use a taxi, a cabulance, or a shared drive service. And to use their services, if you know you have a procedure, you want to call them as soon as possible to make the arrangements. If you wait too long, they may not have any staff available to take you, okay? So you really want to plan this out thoughtfully. Bottom line is, if you have a procedure coming up, you know that they are going to require you to have an escort to go home, and you're not quite sure how to manage all of this, give me a call and I'll help you walk through it. Okay? Any questions about escort service to the hospital for a day service or for a day procedure? Great. Okay. Next item of business is some things coming up that I want to share for the over the next year or next 6 months. Mariko Sata, our art therapist intern, is about to put on her next art therapy experience, next closed group, and she has a couple of spaces left for the next art group, which is a 6-week closed group that meets every Friday from May through June for 2 months. If you are interested in joining that for a closed art therapy group, please contact me or sign up with Mariko. Okay. Next item is I'm still looking for people who are interested in Parkinson's support. If you have Parkinson's or you are a person that supports somebody with Parkinson's disease, and you're interested in forming a Parkinson's support network, Parkinson's support group, please let me know so we can get this back on our agenda here at Horizon House. Third issue is we have a wonderful volunteer named Joseph who comes here on Thursdays. He is a retired mental health therapist, and he is very experienced in running memoir groups. He would like to offer a memoir writing class on Thursday mornings. And this again will be a closed group, so it'll be a small contained group of people who would like to work on memoir writing. He's been doing this for years and years and helping people through the hospice program and also in practice writing memoirs. So he's very experienced at this, and he'll have more information about that. So if you are interested in writing a memoir and you've never gotten yourself to get down and put your story on paper, this is a great time to do that. That'll be on Thursdays. And if you have questions about that, please come and see me. All right. 3 more quick items. Memory Cafe has been moved to Thursdays. So we've got our Thursday group that meets 2:30 to 4 down in the B1 level by the pool table. Come on down there. You'll hear it's pretty noisy down there, but don't be put off by that. Come and join the fun. If you do have family that's traveling in town over the summer, especially grandkids, and Deanna, as far as the students that were coming in for the computer help, I want to extend this to them as well. If you have any young people that are coming into town and they have a talent, skill, or just a good sense of fun, consider that I will offer them service learning credit for coming in here and sharing their talent with us. So you got someone who can do something great and they need service learning for it for school, I will give it to them. Come talk to me. Okay. Finally, in September, we will be putting on a health and wellness fair to showcase all of our partnerships with allied health professionals, including all of our allied professionals like podiatry, audiology, massage, acupuncture, nutrition, etc. In addition to that, we're also going to be showcasing the care agencies, hospice, palliative care, and different kinds of services that actually come into the building so people can see who these agencies are, why we partner with them, and kind of get an understanding of the nuances of them. Why would I pick one agency over another agency? Okay, there's going to be a lot of really great raffle prizes, going to be a lot of really great discussions, demonstrations, and this will be in September. We'll be looking for some volunteers to help put this fair together. I think it'll be a really big explanation of the great things that we do here in-house, complementing our community life and how we take care of each other. So with that, are there any questions for me? No. Yay. All right. Everybody have a great day. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Erika. Eric and I had a conversation about what's available here, and I realized that I have no idea how many services we do have available to us. So we're going to try to educate all of us, including me, about who we can rely on, for help when we need it. The next report is the minutes and the treasurer's report. I'll start with the treasurer's report. Karen Smith isn't here today. So as you can see from the report, we had a loss this past month, March, and that's because the market was closed because of COVID. So nothing that can be done about that. Hopefully we'll be able to make up the funds when people, are back in the market and shopping again, which they are now. So things have picked up. So we should be able to make a lot of this back up. And then as far as the minutes are concerned, the minutes have been circulated to all the members of the council. Corrections have been made, and they've been corrected, but based on what people have suggested. And I'm going to ask if there are any more corrections to the minutes at this point from council members. Okay, so there being no further corrections, the minutes stand. And next is Jennifer from the Monday Market.
Greetings, everyone. The Monday Market reopened. All right. The Monday Market reopened on March 20th after the latest COVID closure. The total deposit for the last 2 weeks in March 2023 was $3,272. The sales tax was $304 for that period. The first 3 Mondays in April produced a total deposit of $4,452. Taxes were $414. Yesterday, all men's and women's clothing was half price, but the sales total was still $1,379. So not bad. I guess people like a bargain on top of their bargains. So the slightly lower earnings of late could be due to the reduced risk of going out to shop, to the draw of just being outdoors in general, and to the increase of events and meetings here in Horizon House. We continue to welcome your saleable donations. Employee purchases also continue to be important and a substantial contribution to the total. Barbara and I have made efforts to understand what might be planned for the temporary housing of the market if the West Tower project should proceed. At this point, we have no new information, but we did see a drawing of the proposed plan for the market within the new West Tower. It suggests that the architects listen to our wish list, that is for such things as storage space, good lighting, and access to the loading dock and things like that, practical things. 2 residents modeled spring clothing at Sunday's brunch. Our many volunteers are multi-talented and multitasking, and we can't thank them enough for all that they do. I guess that's it. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Spotlight of the OK Chorale, and Crill is here to talk to us about that.
The walker is temporary, believe me. I want to ask anyone here who has never seen an OK Chorale concert. I hope that doesn't mean that we only have 5 new residents. So I encourage you to bring more new residents to the residents' council meetings. But I do have a surprise, not a surprise, I do have a pleasant thing to say, and that is that the OK Chorale has been rehearsing throughout the COVID as we can, and now is very heavily tasking on a weekly basis to present a concert on June 27th and 28th, and you will be notified through the alert, if not signs other places. So we hope to see you all then, and we hope to, again, be able to offer this feature 3 times a year, 2 concerts each time. We usually perform on a Tuesday afternoon, primarily for the assisted living, supported living folks to come in the afternoon, which is more convenient for them. And then we have, it is open to everyone, but primary seating is put forward primarily for the assisted living folks. And then on Wednesday, we have a just wide open chorale concert. So on June 27th and 28th, we hope to see you all there. We are almost 22 years old. In 2020, a group of residents gathered around the piano. They were Julie Anderson, who is the wife of the former CEO, Bob Anderson. And that sparked an interest in having a formal chorale group. So I think it was in 2021 that the OK Chorale began formally having a group together. 2001, absolutely. Thank you, you're listening. And at that time, a volunteer from outside named Phil Conkle came and directed us again around the piano for the most part. And then we have since about 2010 had outside directors who are paid thanks to the Monday market and our requests, a sum that is adequate for them, and they're delighted to be here each and every Tuesday. Our choral makeup this year, because of COVID and because of a number of things which I think are important for those who might someday be interested in joining us, is that our number of participants are at 26. We have had in the past up to 40. And something that is difficult to talk about in the abstract, but is important for you to know, is that we are not encouraging people to come and sing because they think it would be fun, period. If you haven't had singing opportunities through your lifetime, what a shame. But if you have had, and you want to continue those, and you think you can improve with your vocal assets, we encourage you to come. So there's 26 of us that are currently singing. It's interesting to note how dedicated they are. Right, Hal? Yes, Nat? And that's about all I can say unless you have questions. But keep an eye out for the 26 27th and 28th of June. One in the afternoon, one in the evening. We hope to see you all there. And please talk to your neighbors in your hallways that are relatively new and encourage them to come. Thank you.
And now the next spotlight is the Flower Committee, and Jeff Graham and Judy Cline are going to tell us how they make this place so lovely week after week after week.
Well, it's good to see all of you here today. And I wanted to tell you that by going to other retirement centers, this is the only place that uses fresh flowers. So we're going to be showing you arrangements here, yeah, that I see here now. So our committee, there are 12 in our committee, and I'd like to tell you who we're all of us are, because you see us running around this place with a little cart that has flowers on it. So yeah, it's Ronnie Budge, Judy Cline, Jan Corson, Mary Ann Counts, Elsie Crossman, Pat Fitzgerald, Priscilla Lang, Carrie Lawman, and Jocelyn Miller, and myself. We work with the partner for a 2-week shift, and we do this 4 times a year. It's great fun, and actually we enjoy all the compliments you guys give us. So our duties are purchasing the flowers, arranging and keeping the arrangements looking fresh. And so sometimes you'll see us go down and pull out a flower, and that's not because it's usually because it's dying. And there are 8 locations where we put the flowers. On occasion, we have donations. Usually they're floral arrangements that are donated for memorials. And we put them by the mirror there, the memorial mirror in the lobby. So many people say, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to join your committee and so forth. But actually what happens is if you haven't had a lot of experience at it, we always assign you to somebody who's been doing it for a few years or for a year or two. And it's amazing how much you learn in that time and can do it yourself. So here, if you're interested in joining the committee, please talk to us and sign up for the next time we have signups. Judy will continue here now.
The photos you're seeing are arrangements that have been done over the last number of years. You probably will recognize some of them. The potato plant, by the way, was for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm just going to mention some questions that we're often asked. Where do we buy our flowers? Each 2 people that are on duty at the time buy their flowers from whomever they want to. They can go all over Seattle. I think we all have special spots that we like to go, that we've developed relationships with the sellers. We're allowed to cut greenery around Terry and University Street. I want everybody to know that our committee never cuts flowers from people's personal plots. We have occasionally asked people if they would like to share. And if you're on the garden committee and you would like to share, please let one of us know. We get a number of people on our committee and other residents have summer houses or other houses where they grow flowers. And during the late spring and summer, we get an abundance of donations. And we're asked, where do we keep all of the wonderful accoutrements that we show with our arrangements? We have
3 storage lockers that are filled with seasonal. We have a storage locker for Christmas. We have, it's wonderful. And we have, well, you saw a picture of the flower room. We have lots and lots of vases. We're asked if we accept donations of vases. Space is tight and we do accept donations, but we always tell the donator that if we aren't able to keep the vase, if they would like it back, or if we should give it to Monday Market. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's time for burning questions. Burning questions can come from any Horizon House resident about anything that a resident wants to ask related to Horizon House. I do my best to get full answers before the next month's meeting, where I will read the answer. This week, we have 3 questions. 2 of them are short and sweet, and the third is more complicated. So complicated, in fact, that I asked Christy to come help me with it. So I'm so glad that she's willing to be here. Thank you, Christy. Okay, here goes. Here's the more complicated topic. It relates to the evolving plans for, you will not be surprised about this, the West Wing residents gradually over the next few years into vacant apartments in the other towers of Horizon House. All West Wing households have received a personalized letter that lists the kinds of apartments in North, Central, and East Towers that have been deemed comparable to the apartments that we will vacate. Of course, the comparables do not include penthouses or other units that are more expensive than any in the West Wing. Here's the issue. A West Wing resident reported understanding from a one-to-one meeting with Christy Seymour and Valerie Kilgore, that when apartment types listed on the West Wing residents comparable list become vacant, those apartments will, in some cases, be offered to new residents who are moving in, even if one or more West Wing households has been waiting for that kind of apartment. The question for Christy today is that true? Since our Chief Executive Officer, Mike Ostrom, is leaving in the late summer, he has appointed Chief Financial Officer Christy Seymour to oversee the complex process of relocating West Wing residents. Yeah, I hear a lot of comments about, whoa, what job would that be? And many of us have huge respect for Christy, who is, in our experience, a straight shooter. So I've asked her to clarify the situation for us. She canceled another meeting to be here in person. Christy, can you help us understand this?
Thank you. Yes, it is a complex problem that we are dealing with. I just want to start by saying thank you to all the West Wing residents who have invited us, me and Valerie, into your homes and been very, very gracious about this whole process. We understand that it's not easy and we don't want to have to ask you to leave your home, but you've all been very, very gracious to us. So I do appreciate that. So to the question about whether all available apartments that do become available are going to be offered to West Wing residents. The answer is no. We will not be able to offer all apartments to West Wing residents, even if they are listed as comparable in the lists that you may have received, those of you who are impacted. There's a couple reasons for this. One is we have some refundable entrance fee contracts with some residents. And if that apartment that becomes available has a refundable entrance fee, we're going to need to collect an entrance fee for that apartment. We no longer sell refundable entrance fee contracts, but we still have a significant number in the community. So if those apartments become available, we are going to need to sell those to the outside. In addition, we have bond holders, investors in Horizon House. They hold basically the debt that we hold, and they require us to have a minimum amount of income available to cover our debt. And part of that income is our entrance fees received. And so I need entrance fees in order to meet the covenants that the bondholders have set for Horizon House. So we're going to have to balance out very carefully when apartments become available, which ones we offer to residents and which ones we sell. We were very intentional about meeting with residents early. In fact, by the end of this week, we will have met with every single West Wing resident, which would be under 30 days. And we were thinking it would take 45 to 60 days. But that was very intentional because we want to understand what their preferences are so that we can match as many apartments as we can to the needs of the residents. Unfortunately, I just can't offer every single one of them to all of those residents. I wish I could, but I can't do that. So that is the answer to the question. Any questions on that? Yeah.
What about your covenant with residents who've already be first in line, period?
We are trying our best to make them first in line. We are doing whatever we can to ensure that the imposition that we are causing them, we've heard many, many residents tell us that they moved into their forever home and now Horizon House is asking them to leave. That is a very challenging situation for both of us, right? We don't want to ask people to leave. You don't want to leave your beautiful, beautiful homes, which all of those apartments in the West Wing are. We're doing our best to make it as easy as process as possible for every resident there, giving them the resources that they need in order to have a very smooth move, giving them as many options as we can in the apartment selection process, in the renovation process. We're doing the best we can with what we can do. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. One of the things that makes what's happening in the West Wing easier is direct information, and it just helps a lot to understand. Thank you for that.
We have a couple questions over
Oh,
here.
more questions. Okay. Sorry.
I got, there you go. Okay.
Is this on?
Should we turn off?
What's here?
Is this one? Is this one is okay?
That was my fault.
Thank you very much, Christy. I understand that, I mean, we all want Horizon House not to sink under its financial burdens, but could you make it a little clearer what's involved with reserving apartments that are under contract? My recollection is that when those contracts were available, you had to pay something like 60% premium on your move-in in order to have that. So that should count in terms of income as well, it seems to me. I don't quite, I mean, so that's one question. How is this financial equation balanced out? And how many apartments do you estimate are going to be reserved for the outside under that accounting system?
So for the entrance fees, yes. So when we were selling refundable entrance fees, there is a premium over what you would pay. Just on what you would pay for non-refundable. So there is a premium on it. And over time, as our entrance fees have risen, the amount that we refund is pretty close to the amount that we receive. So basically, it's a net zero impact for Horizon House. When we talk about income, it's a little bit wonky because cash entrance fees, less refunds, count as income when we look at our debt covenants. So it's a little bit strange to think of cash as the income, but it really is the net cash that we receive less all of the refunds that we have to issue in any given year. I will tell you, in any given year, we give out $2 to $4 million in refundable entrance fees. So it's a pretty significant number. The second part of your question was, oh, how many? Thank you. We typically turn over about 30 apartments on average every year. So we have over two and a half years or so to get this process done. And if we're turning over 30 apartments every year and we have 40 residents that we need to relocate, we think if we were to do 15 or so apartments every year, we should be able to accomplish our goal of getting everybody relocated, as well as selling enough apartments to be able to meet our entrance fee needs. So that said, goal of 15 apartments or so each year. Depends on which apartments become available. Of course, that's the one wild card that we can't control. So depends on how many of each apartment type, but we're aiming for about 15 each year. So half of what we have available. Other questions? All right. Thank you.
The other two questions are pretty easy. This is question number 2. Is it possible to opt out of having my name on the birthday list in all of its forms? Birth dates are used in healthcare settings to verify the identity of patients. They are also used for identity in other places. I prefer not to advertise this personal information. I just make sure that all my friends and family know when my birthday is. So the answer is from Emily Wallace, Communications Specialty. And if you're interested in this topic, remember the name Emily Wallace. Just call me or email me. I'll be glad to add your name to the birthday policy no-no list. So there is a list that exists. Some people already have their names on it. And if you feel this way about your birthday publicity, be sure to see Emily Wallace. If you forget her name, my name is Carol Roach. I'll give it to you. The third question comes from a resident who asks, when residents do not spend all of their choice dining allotment, it is lost to them. Where do those funds go? And the answer came from Christy Seymour, Chief Financial Officer. Choice dining funds not used within the resident's 6-month period are forfeited. We knew that. The forfeiture means the funds are recognized as revenue for the food services department. All choice dining dollars support the food service department regardless of whether or not residents use all of their allotments. So thank you, Christy. So now it's your chance. If you have a concern about anything related to Horizon House, please meet me, Carol Roach, at the Fireplace Lounge right after this meeting, though it takes me about 5 minutes to get there. I'll be by the fireplace for at least 30 minutes to write down your questions. So bring your burning questions to the fireplace.
Thank you, Carol. That's great. So if no one has any other questions, I will adjourn the meeting. Nobody? Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming.